Hey guys, how's it going? So not too long ago in my review, I talked about adding this little power outlet piece here that I put on my bike, and had it for about 6 months. It says it's waterproof, but apparently for it to be waterproof, you have to unplug this and then put this cap over it every time it rains. And I don't have any problem admitting I didn't do that one time, and now it is not working. So I'm going to replace it and be much more careful this time about how I pay attention to it in the rain. So I thought I'd do a do-it-yourself video on installing it. I sort of talked about it last time in my review, but I didn't really do a full how you go about doing it video. So I'm going to do that today. You start by removing your rear seat, which hopefully you already know how to do that. You just put the little key right here and twist, and that pops up. To remove your seat, you need this bigger Allen wrench, which I think is 4.5 millimeters. And I'll make sure I get that right and put it in the description. We'll probably do a tools you'll need at the end of this anyway. But anyway, so obviously you start by removing the seat to install this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the old one but not run the camera during that, because most likely if you are buying one of these, you're not buying it to replace it. And if you are buying it to replace it, well, you already know what you got to do. So this is what I've got under the seat. What I'm going to do though is keep the camera going long enough to do the fairing removal. Because that's something that could be useful whether you're putting in one of these or whatever you're doing. I've had to remove the plastics a bunch of times, and I've sort of shown putting them back on in my spark plug and air filter, but I don't think I showed taking them off. So anyway, so you start when you need to remove the plastics, and for this I'm only going to remove this side right here. It's the only side I need to access, but it's the same process for both. So anyway, for this, it's just this one screw. That thing, it's got a little lip here. Just back out, pop up. And then to remove this side fairing, 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts here, one here, and then a big one down here, and they are all this 3 millimeter size. So I'm going to do that. Those are the things I'm taking out. Oh, I almost forgot. I always want to forget this. There's one of these little push things down here that you push in the center. So I'm going to take those out and then I'll come back, okay? See you in a few. Okay, so I'm back. So I took out this. Actually, when you're removing just the side piece, you don't need to remove this one here. These two actually hold the centerpiece down, so I didn't take it out. When I came back, when I'd unscrewed this but not taken it all the way out, I don't know if you can see that because this comes with a little plastic washer here, which I'm assuming is there for a reason, and it's really hard to find if you drop it. You don't want to know how I know that. So anyway, then you come to this piece under here, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a little centerpiece that you push up, and then it drops out. Okay? And then when you go to put it back in, you just push that thing out, stick it back in, and then push that piece flush, and it sort of tightens the whole thing up. So anyway, that's how they work. If you've ever owned any bike with any kind of plastics or fairings, they seem to be all over them. At least the bikes I've seen and messed with do. When it comes to removing this, you basically, once you get all the little screw pieces out, it's got these things like rubber little grabbers in it that have to come out. And once you get those out, it pops right off. And there are these things right here. They sort of plug into the side and here. And so this has a male one that sticks in, and then I think these actually fit down on pieces of the bike that stick out for it. Yeah, like that one goes right there. And geez, I don't know where this one comes from. Something probably goes in there. Oh, that's just the screw for that. That's where the screw goes through. So this goes in here. And then this one is grabbing somewhere up front. Anyway, doesn't matter. All that matters is you put this plastic piece somewhere where it cannot scratch. So I think it'll be safe there. Okay, so the side plastic's off. And so what I'm going to try to do is put the new one of these right here in this about the same spot. I've already got this cord running. You can see how I ran that along up here and tied it down at various spots. And so I'm just going to basically clip this loose. I'm going to do that off camera. You don't really need to watch that. And then I'll come back and show you installing the new one. So I'll be back. All right. Okay, I did want to show one thing. Even though you won't be disconnecting the old terminals like I am here, and I can see this one here has one through there, and that's definitely not good. So basically all you have to do is disconnect your negative terminal, okay, and your positive terminal from the battery. But you are going to have to do that when you connect your new one, so I'm showing it. Not that it should be any surprise to anyone, but oh well. So there you go. That's how you unscrew those. And now it's just a matter of fishing all this stuff through, which you really don't need to watch. So I'm going to stop this and come back. Okay, so one thing about this thing is it comes with a bunch of these things rolled up in here like this when you get it. And that's so you can use it for various size devices. They're rubber, grippy things, and they are handy. But I've chosen to mount this to the frame of the FC, this tube here, which is about the maximum size you can do it. However, last time I did it without any rubber on it, it slipped around a lot, and I think that eventually caused me to tighten it down so much that I actually broke this piece here. So because I don't want that to happen this time, you can see I put a little tiny piece of rubber on there. Okay. And just make sure I left myself enough space, which I appear to have done. I should actually click back on there when I'm finished. Okay. Now, I'll do is slide this down just a hair because I'm not entirely thrilled with how tight that is on top there. In my opinion, I almost want this thing to be nestled up against that beam there, just to give you the maximum amount of clearance to the switch. So you can see I just put that there to give it a little extra grip. Tighten that down, and it's in there pretty solid at that point. Okay, then you just want to take this cord and put it somewhere where it's not going to be like super visible, you know, and so that route there looks like I'm not really going up against anything that's going to get hot. Just going to run it over top of that there, and I'm just going to go underneath that there, and then bring it in here to the battery. Now, what I'm going to do is put something there that'll just keep it from getting in the way of anything. This thing does come with some handy dandy zip ties. So, I think the way to handle this is like so. These things aren't like most nylon ties like you can take to the bank. Those things are never, ever, ever going to let you down. These are pretty tough, but they're little ones, so I'm not going to put the mojo on it. I don't really need it to keep it perfectly straight. All I need it to do is keep it from sliding around back there. And I'm going to secure this cord back here in the battery compartment anyway, but you can see the basic routing of that and how I've gotten it attached. Okay, that's solid. That's not going anywhere. Cord's not touching anything. So, okay. So now I'm going to take this, and what's hopefully obvious to you is positive goes to positive. Okay, right here, right here. So just going to take the positive terminal and lay it down. Secure that there. Okay, it's pretty good. And then get my negative terminal. In case you're wondering what this other piece here is, it's actually the ground for my electronic jet kit, which is actually powered the EJK is actually powered from the injector, but still needs a ground. So if you don't have an EJK or something like that in your bike, you won't have one of those. You won't have one of these. Okay, so now it has landed. So it should be good. Before I batten down all this and clean it up, situations like this, I do like to power it up, see that it works. Okay, and shoot, while we're at it, might as well plug her in, put my phone in, and make sure that it actually charges the phone. Hey, what do you know, success? Oh, by the way, I'm missing one of these rubber grommets on my RAM mount. So if somebody knows where I can find one of those for cheap, let me know. Anyway, so that's that. At this point, it just becomes a matter of taking these wires and what I'm going to do with them. And oh, by the way, one of the things I like about this is it comes with a little fuse, so like it won't mess up too bad. So if you start having a problem with yours, and I did check this on my other one, check the fuse. Make sure that hasn't blown. It is a, I don't remember, little 10 amp fuse. So anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the install. Obviously you want to put your wires in here in a way where they're in good order, which I'm going to do, and then I'll come back, okay? See ya. Okay, so what I've come up with here is I sort of tuck these wires right here to this frame. I think they'll be out of the way. Okay, move them to the inside there. Still leaving enough slack that if I need to get to that or something I can. But getting all this extra wiring out of the way and keeping it tight to the frame. Okay, I think will sort of keep it out of my way and I can still access the terminals, whatever. Still keep them reasonably well covered. And there you go. Now at this point everything seems to be sort of out of the way. Don't really have any big problems. And of course, bike still works. It's always a good thing to know before you button everything up. So it looks like we're all good here. So that is your install of your additional power outlet for your FZ-07. Have any questions, comments, whatever? Give me a shout. That's where I ended up doing it. I'm probably going to go ahead and put one more of these right here. Just to keep that from getting into any mischief. Okay, so what I ended up doing is there's a little hole right here above where this bolt, where this little piece on the frame right here is, that I'm just going to use to hold this wire up in there under the tank. You can see it's in no way being pinched by the tank, and it's not even really doing anything except just giving me one more point to make sure that wire doesn't wander around. I kind of like having a little bit of loose wire there, but not too much. You can see it's almost tense, but not quite. And I think that's going to do it. Like, I don't really feel like you can sort of play with these things to death, and I think that's a good balance between security, but not doing too much. So anyway, hope this video helps you. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, one thing I do need to do is cut the end of that off. That just is unsightly. So yeah, that's it. Hope this helped you. Power outlet's a handy thing to have for your road trips or whatever, or just for cruising around town if you forget to charge your phone before you leave. So see you guys around. Bye. Okay, so today's video is on installation of the waterproof USB power port charger, which you'll be seeing shortly. This is the box it came in. Just in case you wonder, I guess I should have shown you the unboxing, but I didn't. Well, I'm an amateur. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And I'll provide the link to where I got in the description section. Other than that, you're going to need your 5mm Allen wrench, 4mm Allen wrench, screwdriver with Phillips head, or a nut driver if you'd rather undo the terminals that way. And then I like these little surgical scissors, or medical scissors, to cut the ends of the nylon ties because they can get places. But, you can use clowns, whatever, wire cutters, whatever works. So, yeah, those are all the tools you need to do this, okay?